Okay, so we are back again for the session 2. So I welcome you all in the session 2 of day 3. So now we have with us our resource person, Professor Dr. H.M. Suryavanshi sir. So before starting with our technical session, I would like to introduce Professor H.M. Suryavanshi, FNAE Fellow IEEE. Professor H.M. Suryavanshi sir has completed his BE in Electrical Engineering from Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He has completed his ME Electrical from IISc Bangalore in 1994. He did his PhD Electrical from Nagpur University in 1999. He is an assistant professor at VNIT Nagpur from 1998 to 2008. He is working as a professor HAG at VNIT Nagpur since 2008. He was a professor and head of department HOD at VNIT Nagpur from 2011 to 2013. He was a dean, research and consultancy, and one of the director of CIVN at VNIT Nagpur from 2013 to 16. He was a member of Sectional Committee 5, Electrical Engineering of Indian National Academy of Engineering, INAE, India. He is a recipient of IETE Bimal Bose Award for his leadership in power electronics in India and for distinguished contribution in 2009. He is also awarded with IETE Bimal Beheri Sain Memorial Award for his leadership in power electronics in India and for distinguished contribution in 2017. He is associate editor of IEEE Open Journal of Industrial Electron Society. He is also an associate editor of IEEE Transaction on Industrial Electronics USA. He was a fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering for outstanding research in 2012. He is a chair professor of Indian National Academy of Engineering from April 2017. He is a fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, FNAE, India since 2012. He is also a senior member of IEEE. He is a fellow of IETE, Institute of Engineers, and member of IET UK. Sir has taught various courses like Basic Electrical Engineering, Network Theory, Fact Devices, Basic Power Electronic Converter, Design of Power Electronic Circuit, etc., etc. His research interests include the field of power electronics, emphasizing development work in the area of resonant converter, renewable energy system, power factor correction, active power filter, fact devices, multi-level converter, high frequency electronic ballast, and electrical drive, and so many more. He has more than 250 publications to his credit, out of which 120 papers in the international journals like IEEE, IIT, EPE, etc. And he has been granted 16 patents. He has completed 18 sponsored consultancy projects. He has successfully guided 18 PhD students and 36 MTech students. Currently, 5 students are pursuing their PhD under him. I was there in VNIT for 2 years, and sir has taught me power electronics and advanced power electronics when I was there from 2011 to 13. So it's an honor to welcome you, sir. So I'll request sir to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you for renewable energy and the electric vehicle. So basically, for the renewable energy, you connect to the power system, maybe solar cell or the wind energy system. If you connect to the power system or to the grid, you need DC to DC converters. And for the inverters, you need the various type of DC grid. For example, 3 type of DC bus system. 48 volt DC bus system, generally used for the home appliances. So home appliances means it may be a tube light, fans, and the other electric appliances. This is very common now and very reliable. The reason is the efficient system and more power saving. For example, I am quoting one example. Electrical light, for example, LED lighting system, so needs generally 12 volt DC or 24 volt or 48 volt system. So here you can directly connect 48 volt to the LED system. Reason is you need not to convert 230 volt AC to the 48 or 1200 volt or 24 volt. Directly LED you can connect here, number of LED connected in series and directly connected to the supply system. This is one of the advantages because no power consumption So efficiency is more because direct 48 volt, no conversion is required. Similarly, fan system, brushless DC motor is operated and 48 volt DC system. No doubt converter is required for the fan. Then if you connect system, for example inverter, so if you are connecting inverter to the grid, so you need 380 volt to 400 volt DC bus for the DC voltage for the single phase inverter. Why it is? Reason is, you can see this sinusoidal output voltage. This sinusoidal output voltage is connected to the grid. So here 380 to 400 volt is required. Reason, you can see the inverter output voltage. This is the inverter output. What is the peak of 230 volt? RMS value AC voltage, that is 325 volt. This is the peak of 325 volt. RMS may be 230 volt, right? But to convert the 230 volt to the peak value, you have to multiply √2. So therefore it is 325 volt. This is the required. Now if you converting 325 volt peak value, so you need the DC voltage more than 325. So because you are taking the average of the inverter output voltage, this is the inverter, red color is the inverter output voltage, is the modulating voltage. If you take average, you will get the sine wave. Therefore, if 380 to 400, this peak value is 400 volt is required to convert 230 volt RMS, that is 325 peak. This is thumb rule. This voltage is required. Therefore, this is the range. Then, third system, 650 to 800 DC bus system for 3-phase inverter is required. Why it is 650 to 800? 800 is very ideal. So generally people use the 800 volt. Sometimes 750, sometimes 800, but 800 is very good. Why it is 800 is required? Reason is, you can see here inverter output voltage, that is 800 volt, right? Inverter output voltage. Now what is the line to line voltage of the supply system? Line to line voltage of the supply system is the √2 into 415. √2 into 415. Now you multiply 415 line to line voltage to √2. It is come around the 600 volt. Suppose you are using 600 volt DC bus. What will happen? What will happen? Average of 600, it will come around here, right? It will come around. So you will not get 600. That means 415 RMS voltage you will not get. Therefore, the average, to get the average value of the inverter output, the DC is 800 volt is required. Hence, this is 415 volt will get. This one type of switching. There is another type of, there is various type of switching technique is available as per modulation system. Now, so it's clear 800 volt because this is 415 multiplied by √2. It is the peak. RMS value 415. Remember, multiplied √2 peak 600 volt. To get the peak value of 600 volt, you need 800 volt DC bus. So inverter output will be 800. But if you take the average of inverter output voltage, you will get this sine wave, line to line voltage of 3-phase inverter. Then you are able to connect. If you use the lower voltage, suppose, for example, if you take the lower voltage, this DC bus voltage, what will happen? This will not get 600 volt. This will get some around some 400 volt, right? So 400 volt, you cannot connect to the grid. It is the peak, 400 volt peak, you cannot connect to the grid. Then you have to add some step up transformer and then convert into 415 RMS or 600 volt peak value. You can connect to the then grid. But there is a bulky transformer. It is very difficult to use this large bulky transformer, heavy transformer. Therefore, direct you can take from the DC bus 800 volt. Now there is important how question is arise. How will get this 400 volt or 800 volt DC? The problem is the photovoltaic cell is very low voltage source. Wind energy system is low voltage source. So how will get this high voltage? Then you need the DC to DC converter. The conventionally people use this boost converter, followed by another boost converter, followed by third boost converter. So if you are using the number of boost converters one by one in cascaded form, what is the problem? Efficiencies come down. What is the efficiency? Efficiency is multiplication of individual stages if you connect it cascaded form, right? Therefore, to avoid this, you need a single converter. You need a single converter to connect from solar cell to DC grid. Now, what is the DC grid? Let us see the here DC grid diagram. So, DC grid is common. You can connect the number of sources is the input, whatever the sources. If you connect the PV system, you need DC to DC converter with some algorithm, maximum power tracking algorithm, and connect to the grid. So we have already discussed there are the DC grids is three types: 48 volt, 400 volt, and 800 volt. So you can connect from PV system in a single step. Remember, single step to the 800 volt or 400 volt or 48 volt. Similarly, for wind energy system, you can connect from here AC supply, AC to DC in single stage with the MPT algorithm. But these two sources are intermittent nature. Remember, these sources are intermittent nature. These are not available continuously. So therefore, what to do? The supplementary supply is required. What is the supplementary supply? So you have to storage system. Your storage system is required. There is bidirectional converter is required here to take the supply to the grid, or it can charge to the battery system. That is the storage system, and some control algorithm is required to maintain the DC bus voltage. Because these two sources are intermittent, they are not available continuous, therefore some storage. Now the problem with the storage system is very costly. This is the problem, and complete world is working on the storage system. They are trying one by one batteries. There are various type of lithium ion battery coming to the market now. Their life is nearly 10 years also. Therefore, but it is very costly till today. Now this strong DC bus, remember, this should be a strong DC bus. This has to carry the DC load, conventional DC load. Local, we can say the local load. This may be 48 volt, 400 or 800. Then, how to connect the DC grid to the AC grid utility? How to connect? Therefore, we need here inverter. It may be a two-level inverter or multi-level inverter. Two type of inverters, two-level or multi-level. So we have seen what is the output of this level converters. So this is the output for the two-level converter. This is actually three-level NPOP, 1 0 1 0 minus 1. This is called three-level. So here you need the modulating voltage. Suppose it is two-level, then this type of waveform will get output of line-to-line voltage. This orange color. Then you have to take average. This type will get. But what is the problem? whatever here voltage is available and the grid voltage, they are not in phase. They are not in phase. They may be some lagging or leading. Both the directions. Maybe lagging or leading. We cannot predict what is the output this. Then what is the solution? Solution is very simple. We have to track this voltage. We have to track this voltage. After AC filter, we have to track the voltage and detect their angle theta. Theta means maybe phase. Detect their theta and detect their frequency also, because their frequency and phase should be same, right? Whatever the output of inverter and the utility grid voltage should be same. So how to control the output voltage here? Point of common coupling. How to control? With the help of modulation technique, right? With the help of modulation technique, we can convert the inverter, control the output voltage. The modulation technique. Output, remember, output voltage is controlled by modulation technique. Maybe a sinusoidal pulse width modulation, maybe space vector modulations, whatever. Or it may be harmonic elimination method, or it may be a current hysteresis method, whatever the method. So you can control the output voltage. But this is not sufficient. You can control output, okay, you can connect to grid. What about the phase angle on the synchronizations? This should be in the same speed of, I can say simple language, speed of AC utility and the speed of this inverter output should be same. That is called the frequency. Number one, frequency should be same. Number two, frequency is same. They have to maintain the same root also. Same root means angle theta, right? So angle theta you can control with the help of synchronization unit. What is the synchronization unit? Synchronization unit is phase lock loop. Phase lock loop. What to use? PLL it is called to synchronize. So number one, what are the function here? Number one, to maintain the output voltage with the help of PWM technique. Number two, we have to measure the angle theta. We have to maintain the angle theta. We have to maintain the frequency. These three things is required to maintain. And then we can connect to grid. Then problem is how to connect to the grid. How to connect to the grid. That is very, very important. Many times students ask how to connect to the grid. Can you increase the voltage slowly and connect to the grid? You cannot connect like that. There may be a some switch here, point of coupling, here may be a one switch. Unless and until there is a match voltage of the grid, frequency of the grid, phase angle theta, all those parameters is maintained, then you can connect grid is suddenly. You cannot increase the voltage slowly and connect to the grid. No, this is not possible. You can directly close the circuit if all parameter is matching. That is called synchronizations. This is about grid. Then now, what is the utility? So how to maintain 48 volt or the 400 volt or 800 volt? What are the sources? What are the converters required? We know the renewable energy, just now I have mentioned, solar photovoltaic, wave, wind, wave, array, but intermittent nature. But these sources are reliable, efficient, utilization, required the reliable power electronic converters. Sources is reliable, no doubt, but these are the intermittent nature. So need good power electronic converters, reliable generally. And you know that I already explained the output voltage of PV or fuel cell or wind energy system very low. Therefore, this required the high step of converter or the efficient utilizations. Theoretically, conventional boost converter is operate at very high duty ratio near the 1. What is problem with operating in high routine ratio? The conduction losses is very, very high, and reverse recovery of the diode is also very, very high. So because of this, losses is very high and efficiency is very, very low. So therefore, conventional boost converter has a burden. Still many industries using conventional boost converter, but there are problems with the conventional boost converter. So what is the alternative is available? There are many alternatives available. Also in conventional boost converter, so ripple is in the switches and the output diode is also high. Then voltage stresses on the switch is also equal to the output voltage. This is also very, very high. For example, I am quoting one because here my pen is not working. Otherwise, I can show here. Pen is working, but his writing pen is not working. Something is how to use in Google Meet, I don't know. Pen is not coming here, symbol. I have to try once. Oh, is there pen? Okay. Now, what is the output voltage? For example, output voltage is 400 volt. For example, just a minute. Huh? I'm trying, but pen is not coming here finally. Maybe something is wrong. With this is coming, with the now it is coming. But if you keep on the F4, no, if you're going to the in the Zoom versions slide mode, it will not coming. It is coming in the okay, doesn't matter. Okay, voltage stress is very, very high. Just I will explain, try to explain you. So output voltage example 400 volt boost converter. So what is the voltage stress on the device? It is generally double, generally approximately double. It may be 800 volt. For 800 volt device, you have to select at least 1200 volt rating, right? 400 volt is the conventional boost converter output. For that, voltage stress on the device is approximately 800 volt. To sustain the MOSFET or IGBT of 800 volt, you need at least 1200 volts device. But what is the problem of selecting the higher voltage rating device? What is the problem? I am going very slowly. What is the problem? Problem is on-state resistance of the device is very, very high. This on-state resistance is very high. So on-state resistance is high. That means I square R losses is very high. For example, I am roughly telling figure, not exactly. For example, 200 volt MOSFET. 200 volt MOSFET is current RDS on-state resistance 0.02 ohm. 0.02 ohm. I cannot write here, otherwise I can tell you, but it is some problem with the system. Okay, I'll go there and I'll use here. I'll write here. Yes. So I square R. Whatever I am writing is visible to you. Hello?
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Suppose 10 ampere device. 10 ampere device, so here 10 square into R. R is, suppose you are selecting the switches of 1200 volt. Is rating is RDS is generally RDS is generally 1 ohm. So what is the wattage? Wattage is 1000 watt loss. This is the loss. So if you select, this is the first case. If you select second case, for example, second case 200 volt device. What is the RDS? RDS will be 0.02. Here 1 ohm. Here 0.02. See here. Now same second case. I square RD equal to 10 square again, multiplied by resistance is 0.02. 0.02. Now how much wattage? 100 into 0.02, 2 watt, right? 2 watt loss. See the comparison here. What is the difference? You can see here. Comparison here is clearly visible, the comparison. Now next. So this is the conventional boost converter. So I request you to draw this diagram on pen. I request to the all, because this is very essential in future, later on. So I request to all, you note down this diagram. In addition to note down, we are operating duty ratio D equal to 0.5. You have to note down this diagram. Duty ratio D equal to, this is also you have to note down, duty ratio is D equal to 0.5. Turn ratio equal to 1, N equal to 1. It may be capital N or small n, 1. You have to note down this. Okay, this two figure in addition to the diagram. So this is very essential later on. Okay, so here conventional boost converter, when the switch is on, this switch is on, whenever this switch is on, this inductor will store the energy. So it is called storage inductor. It stores the energy. When switch is off, it is out. Then this diode will conduct and supply current to the load. Why the output voltage is higher than the input voltage? Because when switch is on, this will store the energy. Diode is off. This diode is off. Only capacitor is supply energy to the load. But when switch is off, this out. So whatever energy store inductor, source energy plus inductor energy is delivered to the load. Will deliver it to load. That is the reason output voltage is higher than the input voltage, because here source and inductor both are delivering the load. And in this conventional boost converter, losses is very, very high. This source current will also flow, and the reverse current to the diode is also flow. The reverse recovery diode current is very, very high. It is in ampere sometimes. Remember, there are leakage current and reverse recovery current. They are not same. Remember, reverse recovery current will flow to the switch also. Input current plus this current, both the current will be flown through. What is the reverse recovery current? You maybe know. I will not go in detail. So you maybe know. Device will not off image instantly. The current will go to the load current, anode current. This anode current goes to the zero, below zero, negative. After going the negative, it will come back to the zero. That is called reverse recovery current. When diode going to turn off. So its current is not zero directly. It will go negative first and then come to zero. That is called reverse recovery current. So I think you have noted the diagram. This diagram is very, very useful every time. So then what are the alternatives are available for the boost converter? Because boost converter losses is very, very high. So what are the alternative? We have to search the alternative of the boost converter. Then can you see the operation of converter in discontinuous mode? Is alternative solution. But if you operate in discontinuous mode, what is next problem? Is going to face next problem. In discontinuous mode, peak current of device is large, because device or the converter, not device, converter feed the similar power. So therefore, peak current of the device rating is large. Device is large. Then what is the problem? It induce the very high voltage spike, conduction losses, and high current. Because of the high current, stresses on the device, power device, that means semiconductor device, will increase. That is the problem. Can you try isolated converters? Next is the isolated converter. But for isolated converter, for higher voltage, what is our aim? Why we are using this boost converter? Because to step up the voltage from low voltage to the high voltage. And this high voltage is required for grid. Remember, for the grid, for the battery charging, for electrical vehicle is also required. For example, for high power electric vehicle, for heavy loaded truck, their battery is very, very high. Buses, now electric buses also, they need a high voltage to charge the battery, maybe 400 volt or 800 volt. The reason they are using the number of battery connected in series. So they require the high voltage. So the current requirement is less. If current requirement less, means I square or losses less. That is the only reason to increase the efficiency of the vehicle, electric vehicle. Okay. But in isolated converter, it suffer from high voltage stress on the output rectifier. And also voltage stress on the switches is also leakage energy problem, because in isolated converter, you have to use more number of turns. If you are using the more number of turns, the leakage inductance is high. Because of leakage inductance, then losses is more. So voltage stress on the switches, leakage energy problem, and in that case, power density limiting factor, because you cannot go for very high frequency operations. That is the problem. So therefore, there is a limitation. Then can you try with the isolated current fed converter? But this also is one problem. It's required additional inductor. Isolated current fed conductor is required additional inductor. Along with the isolation transformer is also, and this increase the weight and volume of the converters. Weight is increased, volume of the converter increased, stresses is increased, and thus finally power density limiting factor. Then another converter that is called coupled inductor. You can increase the voltage gain by using coupled inductor. This can be extended by adjusting the turn ratio. Can operate transformer mode to avoid the extreme duty ratio cycle. Can use the transformer to step up the voltage. You can use the high step up high frequency transformer, maybe ferrite core or Sanders core, Fulmu core, MPP core, or it may be the amorphous core. So many cores are available in market now. So extreme duty cycle operations, transformer cannot be used. Reason is leakage inductance. If the number of turns is more, the leakage inductance is more, Leakage inductance more means unnecessary spike is more, voltage spike, and that damages the component also. Then zero ripple current can be obtained by adjusting the leakage inductance and turn ratio in couple inductor based converter. This is possible, but up to some extent. Then I already told to note down the circuit diagram of boost converters, right? Now these boost converters, whatever I have explained, these boost converters, this inductor in couple inductor is divided into two parts. We can make 50% half and second half. Turn ratio we can make 1:1 or 1:2, whatever. But we cannot use more than 2. Reason is the leakage inductance is very high, and that will in unnecessary increase the voltage spike. And what is the voltage spike? I am going to explain voltage spike. This voltage spike. What is the voltage spike? You know that V equal to L di by dt. This inductor generally in milliohm, 1 milliohm minus 3, 10 raised to the power minus 3 L. And what is the I suppose 10 ampere. What is the time in steady state? Time or the device switching time. Switching time is nano. Suppose it is 10 nano. For example, 10 nano or 20 nano. 10 nanos. What is this voltage will be across the device? 10 get cancelled. 3, this is in denominator, remember. So 10 minus 3 into plus 9. 9 will come here, plus 9, 6. So it is come 10 raised to the power 6 volt per second. Right? Volt spike, not volt per second, volt spike. So this much spike is appear across the device, and this device is damaged permanently. Right? Because of small switching time. So we have to avoid this number of turn ratio. Higher the turn ratio, higher is the leakage inductance L. So main inductor is divided into two parts, primary number of turns and the secondary number of turns is divided into two parts. Right? Primary number of turns and secondary number of turns. And here center tap between A and B, input side connected, between B and C, output side connected. You can see next equivalent circuit. So that is the convention, dot convention generally used in transformer for the polarity. Right? Hello, anybody has any problem? This is the dot convention. Similarly, equivalent inductance, equivalent diagram of the inductor, this is represent magnetizing inductance. Primary winding and secondary winding. Input connected between A and B, output is connected between B and C. So this is the equivalent diagram of the transformer. It's called couple inductor. No doubt there is a confusion. Somebody is saying it is the couple inductor. Why it is called transformer? It is why it is called transformer. Reason is you are transferring the power from primary winding to secondary winding. Right? Why it is called transformer? You are transmitting the power from primary to secondary. That is called transformer. It is couple inductor, no doubt. It is an inductor. But the purpose of the inductor, this is called switch inductor. This is taken name is switch inductor. The purpose is transmitting the power primary to secondary. That is the reason it is called couple inductor, or it is called switch inductor, or you can say it is the coupled transformer also. There are various names, right? Now see here, same boost converter, input source same, MOSFET is same, diode is same, capacitor and load is same. Same. What is the difference? The primary, this transformer here, winding is there earlier, not in conventional boost converter here, only one winding. That is the inductor one. Now it divided into two, N1 and N2. Same, 50% is connected the input side and 50% is connected to the output side. Same. And turn ratio is 1:2. Turn ratio, sorry, 1:1 or 1:2 you can use. I will show later on. If higher turn ratio use, what is the problem? I will show later on. So now output voltage here, that is called voltage gain, and this output voltage will be voltage gain M. Generally it is written is M, and this is V0 by V in, and that is shown here. V in by V in equal to here, because of couple inductor it is 1 plus ND, here 1 minus D. So what is the duty ratio we have considered? D equal to 0.5, N equal to 1, N equal to 1, right? So if you substitute input voltage, let us see 48 volt. We'll use the input voltage V in 48 volt. So this three parameter you have to remember. Every time this will use. Now how to increase the gain? Step by step we are learning now. In power electronic circuit or power electronic, if you change the position of one circuit, one element, it becomes new converter. Even position, not the total component position, it becomes new converter. We have same inductor divided into two parts, primary and secondary, it becomes new converter, couple base inductor. So we'll get the gain is high. What is the gain of conventional boost converter? What is the gain of conventional boost converter? V0 by V in, that is equal to 1 upon 1 minus D, and D is 0.5. So this is 1 upon 1 minus 0.5. So this is come approximately 2. So maximum gain, not maximum, sorry, V0 by V in, gain of the converter, if you keeping duty ratio is 0.5, gain is twice. And operating duty ratio at 0.5 is very good. Near the 0.5 is good. Generally, people operate the duty ratio is 0.5 to 0.7 maximum. So we have to operate in this region. It is a good. Even you can go lower than 0.5 also. That doesn't matter. It will go less than. Range generally it is the extended range. Lower side and upper side is become 0.2 to 0.7 extended range. Now if you substitute here, maximum gain is 2, means output voltage double the input voltage. Now here gain equal to 1 plus N is 1 into 0.5 duty ratio. Here 1 minus 0.5 duty ratio. How much it will come in? Here 1.5 divided by 0.5. 1.5 divided by 0.5. So it will come across it to 3. 3 times gain will get. Right? So here only double. Here only double. So here get more gain. Next. So see here. Voltage gain versus duty ratio. Voltage gain versus duty ratio. See here, conventional boost converter. How much gain will get? Even at 0.6, this is the gain will get. If N equal to 4, generally turn ratio cannot be take 4 or 6, but for example 2, N equal to 2. N equal to 2 for conventional boost converters. It will come around here. It will come around here. N equal to 2. N equal to 2. This I am writing in mouse, it is not coming correctly. So see 0.6 duty ratio. it will come around 6. But for conventional, it is around less than, this may be 8, this may be 4. So somewhat here, 0.5 approximately here, 2, only maximum is 2. So I have explained earlier, so what is the problem of the leakage inductance? If you keep the more number of turns, what is the problem of the leakage inductance? Leakage inductance, because of the problem of the leakage inductance, what is the problem? This spike is more high. Why this spike is more high? During the turn off time. Whenever the switch is turned off, this is the voltage across the switch, right? The voltage across switch. During turn off of the switch, voltage will increase. So this spike, because of L di by dt, this spike, the voltage will not stop here. It will go to the very high, and then come down. Because of this spike, this converter component will get damaged, permanently damaged, right? So this is the spike in simulation. Experimentally it is more, but simulation it is less. These are the spike due to the leakage energy. Leakage energy means leakage inductance. So in order to avoid this, so how to avoid? The problem is how to avoid. So you have to use less number of turns. Even less number of turns, we are use here n equal to 4. So we have to use less number of turns, number 1. Number 2, we have to use the auxiliary circuit to remove this spike also, or to protect us from this spike. What is the auxiliary circuit also we'll see. Now what are the problem of this spike? Leakage inductance induce high voltage spike will increase the voltage stress on the device, corresponding increase the losses. Then electromagnetic induction, that is called interference. Electromagnetic interference is very, very high because of this spike, which reduce the overall efficiency of the converter. So you may know what is the electromagnetic interference. Some of them may know, or some of them may not know. Suppose the conductor, suppose this is one conductor and another conductor is placed nearby this. This conductor is carrying the I. Electromagnetic interference due to the current, not voltage, right? Suppose this is carrying the current I, and this is the some circuit is placed, and some wire circuit, some circuit is placed near this. So what is the magnetic field? Is the form of concentric circle. Magnetic field in the form of concentric circle, like that, right? Like these magnetic lines of flux link with this conductor. So because of this, there is an induced EMF E on this conductor. This induced EMF causes the noise, and this noise is called electromagnetic interference. This EMI is due to the current, not due to voltage. Electrostatic discharge is due to the voltage, but this is due to the current, and this is very high, and this is problematic. This disturbs the operation of circuit nearby it. So therefore, we have to take care to reduce the leakage inductance. But you cannot reduce practically inductor 0, not possible. Even lead wire or lead or wire or terminal of the switches, this is also having some inductor. You cannot practically 0, cannot make inductor is 0. So then what to do? We have to eliminate this. So we have to take care to reduce the leakage inductance, or We have to reduce one step, but not possible complete. Then what is the next stage? To recycle. This is very important. To recycle this leakage energy or leakage inductance energy, and to elevate the switch voltage stress. We have to use the leakage inductance as a part of converter, part of circuit. So there are some modification required in the circuit. So where to go? Where to modify? Right? What are the modifications? There are two types of circuit is available. One is passive clamp, another active clamp to elevate the leakage energy problem. Therefore, we have modified the same conventional boost converter. Remember, we are not using at all new circuit, the same boost converter. So there are two additional components required here. One is the clamp capacitor, right? One is the clamp capacitor. Another is the diode. So because of capacitor and diode it is called passive clamp circuit. So same converter. So here one diode and one capacitor used. This primary winding, secondary winding of the couple inductor, and this is represent here. This is the leakage inductance of this transformer. Leakage inductance. LM is showing magnetizing inductance of transformer. Transformer is couple inductor. Magnetizing inductance of the couple inductor. Right? So there are two parts is visible. Earlier not visible, but they are internally in the circuit always there. One is magnetizing inductor, other the leakage inductor. Switch is same. This diode is same. Capacitor and the load is same. And this primary winding and secondary winding was already there. Only passive clamp capacitor and the diode additional is added. Now, what is the role of diode? What is the role? Whenever this switch is going to off, remember, whenever this switch is going to off, so initially it is on. So voltage across switch is 0 if it is on. If it is off, voltage will increase. Switch is going to off. This voltage is high. If switch is on again, voltage is going to 0 across the switches, right? But what will happen to this diode? When switch is going to off, what will happen? This diode is on. This diode is on. What is the voltage across diode? VD is 0, right? This diode is on. Once the diode is on, means what is this point is connected to, this is on. This point is connected to through capacitor to this point, right? But because of this leakage inductance, this voltage will be very high. You will get the spike, right? This type of spike is available. But how to remove? When the switch is going to off, this diode is on, this point is connected to this through capacitor. What about the capacitor? Diode is on, voltage is 0. What is the voltage across capacitor? VCC. What is the capacitor voltage? Because initially is no charge Q by C. Charge is 0 on the capacitor, so voltage is 0. Voltage 0 on the capacitor means what? It acts as a short circuit. No capacitor directly. So this point is connected to the source. If you draw the equivalent between the switch direct connected to source, which this point, suppose this point is diode point, so we'll mark D. D point is connected to the source directly. So this source. When switch is going to off, what is the voltage across the switch? Earlier, this is the voltage. Now, because of the passive clamp, what is the voltage at the VD point? Voltage as VD point equal to voltage at VS point. So, what is the voltage at VS point? The VS or V, sorry, V. So, suppose here 12 volt. Voltage this battery source holds. So, VD equal to VS equal to 12 volt. So, this clamp the spike. Clamp means cut this spike. Therefore, voltage will be same. Right? I think it is clear. This is the purpose of the passive clamp. Now, next point. So we can see the little bit operation. Later on, we will not study operations. So one by one again. So when switch is on, so this inductor will charge the energy, and switch is on, inductor store the energy through the source and to the switch. Similarly, diode is off, so capacitor supply energy to the output. So what is the Neckel said? The switch is on. Now switch is going to off. Switch is removed now from the supply. Then what is the path for current? This is the path through capacitor. But capacitor is very, very small because this is the capacitor across the device, very small. That is drain to source capacitor is very, very small. Negligible capacitor. It immediately starts charge. So this is the charging path, and this BG is supplying energy, and that is capacitor will store energy in a short time. Now, once the capacitor is store energy, what is the voltage across capacitor? Equal to the input voltage. Then capacitor is store energy, that means it is open circuit. In steady state, capacitor become open circuit. It is become open circuit. It is open circuit. Now, what is the path? Still capacitor is supplying energy to the load. Now, switch is off here. I have explained already how the spike is cut due to the clamp circuit. Now this device is off, capacitor charge in very short time. So now switch is completely off. So this voltage, the voltage here, the higher voltage forced to diode to turn on. So this will be energy circulated, and this is still supply energy. So next, now switch is completely off now. Input source energy plus inductor energy plus this capacitor energy already charged plus this inductor energy, all energy is feeding to the source, right? All energy feeding to the load. Primary source, primary winding, secondary winding, the capacitor, all are feeding energy to the load. That is the reason output voltage is very higher than the input voltage. See here, spike is completely eliminated because of this circuit. Spike is completely eliminated. Earlier there is a spike. You can see there's spike. This spike now eliminated. Right? Spike is completely eliminated as a spike due to LDI by dt. Spike is eliminated here, and the switches, you can see now switches of what is the rating of the switches voltage. You can see here just 50 volt. Conventional converters is required 400 to 800 voltage rating here, but here only 50 volt. See here, 48 input volt we are giving, but how voltage across the device only 50. Therefore 100 to 200 volt device rating is sufficient. And lower the voltage rating, lower the on-state resistance. Higher the voltage rating, higher the on-state resistance, higher will be the losses. So see the voltage across device is very less. Now Can extend voltage gain by increase the turn ratio. Now we need the further higher voltage, maybe 400 volt or 800 volt. But turn ratio increasing is not a good solution because of leakage inductance. Then what is the solution? Then voltage multiplier cell. We can use the voltage multiplier cell in secondary of the coupled inductor. Is further increase the voltage. Or we can use the switch capacitor technique. Switch capacitor means capacitor is on and off. Supply is given to the capacitor, is store the energy. Supply is removed to the capacitor means is supplying the energy to the load. That is the purpose, that is called switch capacitor. And it is introduced by some Berkowitz and Axel Lord. So these are the two persons, they have introduced the switch capacitor. No doubt switch capacitor is earlier also, but these capacitors they have brought into the for this converter in 2008, or by applying multiplier cell and switch capacitor, combine these two together. So combination of switch capacitor, voltage multiplier cell, both can be used together. So you will get the more output voltage. See here. So voltage gain. So I already told you voltage gain N plus 1, 1 minus D. This is the voltage gain. N I have told you, use the 0.1, not more than 1 plus 1 divided by 1 minus 0.5 duty ratio. What is now? This is 2 by 0.5. 2 by 0.5. So it is 4. 4 is not sufficient because your input is 48 volt. So you will get only around 200 volt approximately you will get. So that is not sufficient. We need 400. At least 8 times is required. So what is the traces on the output device? Output may be 400 volt. 400 volt. So 400 divided by 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. That is 200 volt. Maximum voltage trace is 200. That is the advantages of this. So what here we have done, the same inductor, same leakage inductance, same switch, same diode clamp. Earlier this capacitor is connected here. Only we have changed the position. Earlier is connected here. Now here we have removed and connected here. Purpose is same. You can connect either here or you can connect here. Purpose is same. So we have not modified circuit. We are not modified. Only this position of capacitor is changed only. So we have added small component, one diode DS. One winding is already there earlier, and one capacitor we have added. One capacitor is added. Remember, this diode, this capacitor, load, leakage inductance, everything is same. Only we have added these two components. Is become multiplier cell and switch capacitor. This is called switch capacitor, and because of that is become multiplier cell. So let us see now. So what is the advantages? So generally power electronic, this type of converter operate at low power level. So what is the alternative available? Maybe 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, these devices can be used. This type of converter can be used. So what is the alternative? That is the interleaving of converter. Has advantage of low input voltage and output current ripple. This is one advantage. We can connect number of converter in parallel to increase the power handling capability of the circuit. So you can add one device, second, third, fourth, like that you can use number of converters in parallel. In connecting the parallel, efficiency will not come down, but connecting the cascade in inverter efficiency, converter circuit efficiency come down. So paralleling is easy and advantages. Higher power handling capability, one advantages. Fast dynamic response, boost control capability. Ripple frequency is increased. Ripple frequency, it is advantages. Ripple frequency is increased means component side is decreased, inversely proportional to the component size. filter size also reduced considerably. So reduction is component size, therefore power handling capability, power density is increased. Now, so these two device converter is connected in parallel, one, and this is second converter is connected in parallel. Same circuit earlier. Only here earlier use one cell, one capacitor. Now here two capacitor. We can see earlier. Here one capacitor, one diode. Now we can add additional one capacitor, one more capacitor, one more diode to this circuit. See, one diode and one capacitor added. Remaining circuit is same, modified version. And we have to see what is the gain, because here the two capacitor will store energy, C2 and C3, right? Inductor will store energy. Leakage inductance is also store energy. Therefore, input source energy plus inductor energy plus capacitor C2 energy plus capacitor C3 energy, all energy is fed to the output voltage. Therefore, output voltage is very, very higher than input voltage. Input voltage we have considered 48 volt only. 48 volt only. Output may be whatever the voltage. Now we can see the voltage gain by connecting this. So by connecting this, the voltage gain is increased. By connecting the parallel, that is interleave manner, so that is the power rating is. Suppose 2 kilowatt, this 2 kilowatt, maybe a 4 kilowatt or 250 watt, 250 watt, 500 watt. See here, voltage gain now. See here, voltage gain. What is the voltage gain? Again 1 plus N is 1. Duty ratio is 0.5 plus N equal to 1. So 0.5 divided by duty ratio is 0.5, 1 minus 0.5. How about 2.5 divided by pi? Right? Turn ratio we are taking 1 only, or you can take 2, maximum up to 2 you can take. Right? So if you take the turn ratio 2, then it will very high. What is here? 2.5 divided by 0.5, it is 5. If it is take 2, turn ratio is 2, it is become 1 plus 2 plus 1 divided by 0.5. So it is become 4 divided by 0.5. So it become 800 volt. No, V in 48, sorry, 8 times. Gain will be get the 8 times. So V0 equal to 8 into 0.5 if turn ratio is 2. Uh, 48 volt, sorry, it is 48 volt. So it is become 400 volt approximately. So voltage across tray device calcium is 48 volt. 48 divided by 0.5. 96 volt only. Here also 96 volt voltage across device. You can use maximum 200 volt MOSFET is good, and that is the on-state resistance is very, very less. Okay. So I will not go detail analysis. I can show here detail working analysis. I will not do detail. This will take much time. There are 2 converter rating. So each is 500 watt. Each channel is 250 watt. The total power rating is 500. Just we have tested experimentally at very low power. And we have kept the input is 24 to 34 volt only input. Generally we have kept 48. They deliberately is taken and turn ratio increased by 1. That is 2. Output voltage is 400 volt. Switching frequency 50 kilohertz. Magnetizing inductance is very, very small. Inductance is in micro Henry only. And turn ratio is taken here 1:4 deliberately. Deliberately, because input voltage is less. 48 volt, it may be a 2 volt, 1:2 or 0.1. So maximum will take 2. So therefore here 4 is taken. See here output voltage 400 volt, input voltage just 24 volt. From 24 volt we are raising in single state 400 volt. So what is the voltage across device? Both the MOSFET voltage across device only 50 volt. See here, very, very small. And conventional boost converter, it may be 800 volt, right? It is 800 volt. So this is the experimental result here. Output voltage 200 volt per division. So from here 200 plus 200, 400 volt. And current 10 ampere per division, here 10 and 20 ampere, some 22 ampere peak current. Average may be around 15 ampere. Average may be around 15 ampere current. It's flowing through the leakage in the inductance, or it may be to the switch also. So voltage across main switch, see here. 50 volt per division, very low voltage. This spike you cannot eliminate completely. In some paper, it is shown 0. This spike is not shown, but it is not correct. Actually, in digital storage oscilloscope, this facility is available to remove this spike. But actually, if you see, some spike is always present. That cannot be eliminated because of whatever method you use to remove this spike. Even though some spike is available, you cannot eliminate completely. So therefore, spike is always present experimentally small. So here, all converters we are using hard switching. What is the problem with the hard switching? Here I have shown the renewable energy system component and efficiency. So if you look into the first diagram, very first diagram, how to feed energy to the grid. How to feed energy to the grid. Grid is the main power system. Integral part of the power system, grid is main. From solar panel or wind energy system, you feed the power to the grid. So you need various components. Number 1, solar cell. Number 2, DC to DC converter. Number 3, DC grid. Number 4, inverter. Number 5, filter. Number 6 is grid. There are so many components, so many circuits are available. So let us start from DC to DC converter. So for small power level, DC to DC converter efficiency around 80%, around 80-85%. So we have taken 80%. Okay. For DC to AC converters, 80%. That is inverter. Then magnetic component may be transformer, inductor, digital signal processor, power supply, gate driver circuit, everything we have considered is 95% efficiency. Solar cell, again very low efficiency, that is the 16%. So problem is, who is the culprit? Solar panel or the power electronic circuit? Okay, no doubt, solar panel having a 16% efficiency maximum, but at least we have to transport from source to load 16% at least, or maybe 15%, but it is not possible in practically, even today is also. How much power we are delivering to the load? That is the question. So if you multiply efficiency, because all those elements are connected in cascaded from DC to DC converter, DC to AC converters, magnetic component, solar cell. All these are the cascaded from. So efficiency is the product of individual stage. For example, overall efficiency at 0.8, 0.8 and 0.95, 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3. So is 61% we are getting. Only 61% efficiency. That is not good. How much power is delivering? Solar efficiency 60%. We cannot change this because this is the internal behavior of the system. This is manufacturer. There are limitations. It's 16%. So overall efficiency 1 to 4, you can see here less than 10%. Right? So 10% power out of 16%, 10% power we are delivering to the load. This is not good. So power electronic devices are the culprit. They are not able to supply power, proper power. So what is the alternative? There is a research area now. There is a research area. What is the alternative? Alternative is the soft switching converter. First alternative is the soft switching converter. Second alternative is also there. The soft switching converter. DC to DC converter, here we have connect 96% efficiency, very high efficient because of soft switching. Then DC to AC converter greater than 95%. And magnetic component 95%. Solar cell 16%, still same. So what is the efficiency? Product of efficiency 1 to 3. 0.96, 0.95, 0.95. So is 87%. Earlier it is only it is 61%. Now it is 86%. See how much is improved. And overall efficiency from 1 to 4, see here, 14%, approximate 14% efficiency. Earlier it is 10% only, less than 10%. Now here 14%. So rise in power from 1 to 3 is 43%. Rise in power 1 to 4. Compared to the earlier hard switching, rise in power here 42%. More power you can deliver to the load because of soft switching converters. But we are not satisfied with this still. So then what is the next? So next is soft switching converter with silicon carbide devices. These are the new type of devices, silicon carbide and GaN devices. Very new category has coming and already come in the market. So because of this, all these converter we have tested in the laboratory. This is not, we are not showing the theoretical. What I am showing is the practical, all practical efficiency. So DC to DC converter using silicon carbide devices, because silicon carbide devices very on-state resistance very low. Only resistance is 14 milliohm or less than that also, very less. So DC to DC converters 98%, greater than 98%. This is tested. We got 99% efficiency, but we have taken the example is 98%. Then DC to AC converters 98%. Magnetic component greater than 98%, solar cell still 16%. Now 1 to 3 product 1 to 3 is 16%, 94% now. Earlier hard switch is 61%, then it is 86%, now it is 87%, earlier it is 94%. What overall total? So generally manufacturer will show the inverter efficiency. That is not correct. It should be the overall efficiency. So manufacturer will show 90-95%. That is not case. That is only inverter efficiency. There are so many devices in addition to the inverter in this circuit itself. So there is a rise in power. So overall efficiency 1 to 4 again 15%. If you multiply these three, 15%. Here 16% is more power will transfer. So rise in efficiency 56%, overall efficiency 55% as compared to hard switching. That is the advantages of this, right? So therefore, silicon carbide devices and these devices is very useful in terms of efficiency or power transport. Losses is more, traces is less, and sustain the very high temperature also silicon carbide devices. So we are going to take 1 or 2 soft switching converter before going to end. Soft switch converter, voltage gain, DC-DC converter with couple inductor and voltage multiplier cell. Same circuit, remember, same conventional circuit we are modified here. See here, same circuit. Now look at the circuit and see, same switch, same inductor, drawn in different way. This is drawn in different way. Same leakage inductance, same primary winding and same switch. The same circuit, there are 2 capacitors used in earlier case and 2 diodes. Same circuit but drawn in systematic way. And same diode, same capacitor and same load. Only this circuit is drawn in systematic way. So in addition to this, earlier passive clamp is removed. 2 circuit, 1 capacitor, that is 2 component, 1 capacitor and additional diode. Now these are removed here. So instead of diode, we have used 1 switch only. Earlier in passive clamp, passive element, diode and capacitor used. Now here active clamp. In active clamp, additional switch is used in place of diode. Remember, in place of diode, additional switch is used. That is, remaining circuit is same. What are the modification? Only switch is added here in place of diode. Remaining circuit is the same. Now, because of this is called active clamp, because active device. Both the switches, auxiliary switch and the main switch, assume the zero voltage switching. What is zero voltage switching? I will explain in short. Zero voltage switching. I will explain in short. I will not go detail. So voltage switch is off, voltage is high. Then switch is going to on, voltage will be decreased. And then zero, switch is on. Again, voltage is increased. Switch is off, voltage is increased, and switch is off completely. Voltage is stay at high value. That is the source voltage. Now current. Now current. You can see here, current, first the voltage is zero, then current will start increasing here. See that voltage across the switch is zero. This current is starting here. So what is the product? Product is zero, and some negative current flow through the anti-parallel diode. This negative current will flow the anti-parallel diode. This diode current will flow through this diode. Negative current will flow through this diode, and switch current will flow through the switch. So switch will take read from here. And this is ZVS. Prior to build up the voltage, main definition, prior to build up the voltage, prior to build up the current, switch voltage is zero. Before building the current or before start up the current, switch bring to the zero, therefore product is zero. So V into I product, it becomes zero. Zero switching losses it is called. Right? Now we'll go to the next. So how the zero voltage will achieve? So initially current will flow through like that. This is the part. So we'll explain one by one. So component. So this is the passive component, leakage inductance, couple inductor, primary, secondary couple inductor. This is the switch capacitor. To charge this switch capacitor, for charging of the switch capacitor is charged through diode D1 and D2. See the path. See a path. The C1 is charged through D1. This is the path. See a path. I am moving the arrow. You can see the arrow. Charging path for C1 and charging path for C2. Now charging path for C2. This is the charging path for C2. So who is supplying the energy to the capacitor? This inductor. Secondary of couple inductor. Right? Remaining circuit is same. See here. Switch is on. Inductor will store energy. One circuit. Right? This is one circuit. And this capacitor supplying, this inductor is supplying energy C1 and C2. C1 and C2 is charging. Third circuit, the capacitor C0 is supplying energy to the load. Right? One, inductor busy in charging. Second, C1 and C2 busy in charging. Capacitor C0 busy in supplying energy to the load. Three independent circuit here. Now next, how will achieve the zero voltage switching? How will achieve the zero voltage switching? Now you can see carefully. So now switch is removed. Means switch is going to off. This switch. If switch is off, how the current will flow? This is the reverse bias. So current will flow through the capacitor. But the small value of the capacitor, very, very small, it is charged quickly in nanosecond, maybe microsecond. It will charge very quickly. This capacitor value is picofarad, very, very small. So see, the capacitor is charging. These are busy in supplying load and supplying charging C1 and C2 and supplying current to the load. So now it is capacitor is charging. After charging the capacitor, what will happen? Capacitor become open circuit. See, it is open circuit. Right? Now this capacitor is open circuit. Now, but if it is open circuit, then inductor have very large energy, large inertia, like a mechanical flywheel, like a heavy loaded truck. Who can stop the current through the inductor? Who can stop? This is heavy loaded truck. Can you stop instantaneously? Not possible at all. Tons of load equivalent to this inductor. So nobody can stop the current to the inductor. So then what is current? It will search its own path. See here. This inductor force. This is fully charged. Switch is off earlier. This capacitor is fully charged. This inductor will store, search its path. The inductor force to this diode to turn on. So energy circulated like that. Before turn off the switch, this diode is on. That means negative current flow through this diode. See here. This is switch voltage. So this negative current flow through the diode. Switch will be turned on here. This negative current flow through this diode. That is called zero voltage switching. Prior to turn on the switch, voltage across, or prior to turn on the current, or prior to build up the current, voltage across switch is 0. This is 0. Then switch will be on here. So because of this, diode is on. After the diode is on, next this diode is on. Next you can see diode is on. See next clearly you can see here. Diode is on with supplying energy. Now this BG here, now input energy plus leakage inductance energy, primary winding, secondary winding, capacitor C1 and C2, all energy is fed to the load. That is the reason output voltage is higher than the input voltage. Now here diode is on. Now this negative current through diode. Now switch is on here. Now diode switch is on here. You can see here switch is on here. Switch here at this point. See, diode is on, negative current, switch is on. Positive current is transferred from diode here. From this diode is transferred to the switch. Therefore, input energy, leakage energy, primary winding, capacitor C1, secondary winding, capacitor C2, all feed to the output. Therefore, this is all equivalent circuit. Okay. So all equivalent circuit. Now switch is on, again stores, second cycle will start, half cycle, supplying energy to the load. And you can see here clearly visible here. So here the output voltage, converter gain, this is due to the leakage energy problem, leakage inductance. So we can ideally eliminate this. So this is the gain of the converter. Now this is the gain of the converter. What is the output voltage? 1 plus, let us see the turn ratio is 2. 2 into 2 minus 2 into 0.5. Duty ratio till 0.5. How much? 4 plus 1, 5. 5 minus 1. Right? 4 plus 1, 5. 5 minus 1. That is the 4. 4 divided by 0.5. That is equal to 8 times. Output voltage equal to 8 into 48 volt. That is equal to approximately equal to 400 volt. 400. That is the reason output voltage is higher than in single state. Only in single state. Efficiency, what are the advantages? Efficiency is very high. In addition to the higher efficiency, you will get more gain. More gain, losses is less. Another advantage is smaller value of voltage rating of capacitor, smaller value of the switch, lower heating, smaller size of the inductor, heat sink, and smaller size of the inductor. Because of all, power density is increased. Power density means smaller the size. Higher power density means smaller size, right? See the voltage across the switch. See here, voltage across the 48 divided by 0.5, just 96 volt. Voltage across output diode VD0. You can substitute the value n equal to 2, 1 plus 2, 3 into 400 divided by this term. Voltage across the capacitor 0.5 divided by 0.5. 0.5 divided by 0.5. That is 1 into V in 48 volt. Clamping capacitor, only 48 volt capacitor is required. Capacitor size is depend upon the rating of voltage rating of the device capacitor. Therefore, clamp capacitor is need the smaller size. This is somewhat experimental circuit. This is the MOSFET, auxiliary MOSFET, and the main MOSFET waveform. This is the couple inductor, very small circuit, couple inductor. These are the two switches. These are the diode, active clamp circuit. These are the two switches, diode and filter capacitor. The filter capacitor, clamp capacitor, couple inductor, this DSP, input power supply. We have made in the lab input power supply. This commonly will use this power supply. Anybody can use this power supply within the lab, moving power supply. This is the voltage probe. Is connected to here to measure the voltage across the device. This device. Another voltage probe is there. This is the another voltage probe. So power rating 500 watt. Input voltage rating 48 volt. Output voltage rating 400 volt. MOSFET we have used 4227. That is 200 volt rating. Diode, switching frequency 100 kilohertz, turn ratio 1:2. Switch capacitors, and the magnetizing inductance, whatever we have used, the couple inductor. See there, sender core use, and very small inductor is required, magnetizing inductance. Generally in our power circuit, it is in milli, it is in Henry, not milli. It is in Henry, but here micro Henry is required. So smaller size, very small size. See here experimental waveform. This is the main diode, main switch. This is auxiliary switch, and this is without active clamp. See how much oscillation without active clamp. Voltage across the device very noisy. With the active clamp, noise is very small. 50 volt per division. See here, 50, some around 60 volt only, 60-70 volt only. Voltage across the device. So this will protect the device, and the selection of the device at lower voltage rating, higher efficiency will be achieved. So zero voltage switching. See here, zero voltage switching, voltage across the switch and current through the switch. So see it's here, voltage across the device is reaching first zero, then current will start. And this negative current, small part of this negative current flow through the diode, and this positive current flow through the switch. Here positive current flow through the switch, negative current through the diode. So it is called zero voltage switching. You can see enlarged version. See here enlarged version of this. Negative current through the diode, positive current to the switch. Switch voltage is first zero, then device will start here. So that is the advantages. Voltage across diode D1, voltage across the diode MOSFET, voltage across the MOSFET. Efficiency, you can look at this efficiency, very high efficiency. About 96 volt efficiency, 96%. Then our aim, why zero voltage switching? Why not zero current switching also? So I introduced both. zero voltage switching and zero current switching in the converters. Slightly modification I have done. Same circuit, C1 and C2 capacitor drawn the front way. Instead of connecting this MOSFET is here, I have connected here. Instead of this capacitor, I have connected here. So this is active clamp is connected here, and this same circuit, same two diode and two clamps, same circuit. Only one diode is output diode earlier, additional diode is required. Only one additional diode. Because of additional diode, this capacitor, slightly lower value of the capacitor connected in series. So this capacitor is already there. Earlier clamp capacitor, only one this diode capacitor. This capacitor and additional diode, these two elements is required only. So if you see the working, I will not go detail of working. It is very confusion. If you see the working of the circuit, it is very confusion, and it will not cover up also. So we have to see here. So switch is on, slightly switch is on, inductor store energy. Similarly, C1 and C2 charging, capacitor charging. And the output capacitor feeding energy to the load. So switch, zero voltage switching here. Switch is on and all three capacitor feeding energy to the load. One circuit, second circuit. So here, both switch is off, this capacitor is on. So current will flow to the capacitor. So this capacitor, because nobody can stop the inductor through current through the inductor, so it will pass through this capacitor. Similarly, later on, through this inductor will be transferred. First, the capacitor will on. Sorry, diode is on. First diode is on. Next switch is on. See here, diode is on. Next switch is on. Zero voltage switching. And zero current diode. I will show here waveform. Rating 250 watt taken approximately. 40 to 60 volt variable taken because of solar panel. 380 volt output voltage. MOSFET diode switching frequency turn ratio 1:2.2. Capacitor, film capacitor, C1, C2. Output capacitor and remaining component. Magnetizing inductor, leakage inductance. See here, gain of the converter 1 plus 2 n 4, 5 divided by 0.5, 10 times. 1 plus 2 into 2, so it is 10 times. Voltage trace on the device, output is 400 divided by 5, n equal to 5. 400 divided 5 less than 100 volt. Voltage trace and the diode less than 100 volt again. All diode voltage. That is the beauty of this converter. So see here, this is two devices, main device, auxiliary device, capacitor, ceramic, multi-layer ceramic capacitor used here. Is very good for power electronic now, capable of very high current. Multi-layer ceramic capacitor, MLCC it is called. Inductor, coupled inductor, output capacitors, output diode arrangement here, and two switches. So this is the current waveform. See the zero voltage. Voltage is 0, then current will start. Zero voltage switching. This ZVS, clearly voltage is 0, then current will start, green color. ZCS you can see. Current, this is the current. Red color is the current. Current is 0, then voltage is start. That is called ZCS. Current is 0, red color. Current first 0, then voltage start build up. This is off on during the turn off. Zero current switching during turn off. Zero voltage switching during turn on. This is the difference. So we have to learn from this ZVS and ZCS. The current 0, you can see again here, current is 0 here. Current is 0, then voltage is built up across the device. That is called ZCS. Clearly visible here, expansion version, ZVS and efficiency. See the different value of the voltage. We are vary the input voltage from 40 volt to 60 volt. So corresponding efficiency, 40 volt, lower the voltage, more current. So I square R losses is more, efficiency is down. To increase the voltage 48, efficiency is increased. Then efficiency at 60 volt, efficiency again increased. This is the experimental measure efficiency. This is not practical. This is not simulated or calculated, theoretical. This is experimental efficiency is calculated. And this is summary of this what is we have studied. Reduce the magnetic component size, improve the power density, reducing the size and weight of the converter, can achieve high voltage gain without large ratio, and voltage stress on MOSFET and diode is lower, therefore lower on-state resistance, and there is a choice to select the switches of low voltage rating. Turn-ons of ZBS of all MOSFETs reduce the switching losses. ZCA turn on the all diode, which reduce the diode turn-off losses and reverse recovery diode current. So here the objective, you can use the number of small converter in parallel and series for multi-level converter. One of the application I am showing here. One advantage is the galvanic isolations. Lower traces on semiconductor device, higher efficiency, high power density, and easy to control. So one application, multi-level converter need different supply or batteries. So instead of different supply, you can connect this small converter. You can connect parallel connections or series connection for multi-level inverters. See here example. Here I am showing here. The two sources, one source is our 2 DC to DC converter is operate, output 1 and output 2. This can be connected to the multi-level number of sources. Then another DC source, supply, solar panel, 2 converters, output voltage 3 and source, very easy, and connect to the different points. Or you can connect series and parallel connection also. See here series connection. Output voltage of input voltage DC 800 volt is required for 5-level multi-clamp diode, 5-level diode clamp inverter. So here 400, 200, 200, 200, 200, 8. So you can connect 800 volt directly. Or 400, 400, 400, 400, that is 1600 volt. We can use that as an input to the 5-level diode clamp multi-level inverters. That is the beauty. These sources you can connect either in parallel or in series also, or independently you can use, because these are all isolated. So you can use the independent also. See here 4 converter, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 converter, and this is the secondary side for all converters. So these sources you can connect either series and parallel, or independent also you can use. So 2 operating stages of the 2 converter is giving. I am not going detail. It will take more time. So gain of the converters, 1 plus n is 2, duty ratio 0.5, 0.5 plus 1. It is 1.5 into 2. So according to the 6 divided by 0.5. Sorry, n is 2, 2 divided by 1.5, 3. 2 into 1.5, it is 3. 3 divided by 0.5. According to you can use. Magnetizing inductance calculations, capacitor calculations, another clamp capacitor calculation, output capacitor C0 calculations. All calculation is there. So specification we have used here 2 kilowatt each. 2 kilowatt, 4 channel, 4 circuit we have used here. So 500 watt, input voltage 45 to 65 volt. 200 volt each output, because we have keep 200 only, or 400 also you can keep. MOSFET, diode, switching frequency, turn ratio 1:2, and other components. See here 4 channel, 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 converter you can use independently. Each of 500 watt, so total is total wattage is 2 kilowatt. So this is the gate voltages, all 4 converters, all 1, 2, 3, 4 converters, all 4 converters. Voltage across devices also. So voltage across each devices experimentally. Now it is given experimental voltage 100 volt per division scale. You can see at 100 volt per division only. So it is approximately 100 volt. So current to the device. Voltage across the device is very small as compared to conventional boost converter. So overall picture, converter 1, 2, 3, 4 corresponding output here, all are connected in series, feed to the multi-level inverters and the filter AC, and finally connected to the grid. This is overall construction. Voltage and current probe. Voltage probe, current probe is here. This is current probe. This is voltage probe circuit. This all four converter DC to DC. Inverter first connected to solar panel. Solar panel is here. This is the simulator. Simulator will goes to the like a simulator, like a solar panel is connected to the DC to DC converter. Then DC to DC converter 3-level NPC inverter, diode clamp inverter. Then connect to the filter and filter to the load. And also after filter is connected to the grid, some point is here, connection of the grid below this table is not visible, is connected to the grid. Finally, is the circuit. See, the capacitor voltage is balanced at all. There are no balancing circuit is required. So all four capacitor voltage. So isolate converter proposed here. Same is built up in laboratory and tested, because we have all talked about the experimental, whatever we have done in our research. That is the topic we have taken here. And why I have taken the DC to DC converter? Reason, without DC to DC converter, AC grid is fail. Because AC to AC converter, DC to AC converter, that is the inverter need the strong DC grid. Without DC grid, inverter voltage is fluctuating. And the fluctuating voltage is not good. Therefore, strong but regulated DC voltage is required for the inverters. So that is only reason. And now number of people are working on DC grid also, because AC grid is very complex and lot of component, lot of circuit, lot of what is called the instability is there in AC grid. So interleave converter, two converters are connected here in parallel to contribute to the load. So I will not go in detail about the AC grid. This is about the DC grid. And thank you for patiently listening me. I hope that I have completed in time. Okay, any doubt?
So yes, sir. Actually, so we are on the last part. So, so participants, if you're having any queries, then you can have one-to-one interaction with our resource person. I think someone has raised their hand. I think some 15 minutes before. So, madam, are you there? I don't remember the name properly, but you have raised your hand. Okay, so thanks a lot thanks a lot, sir, actually, for giving a wonderful insight on the power electronic converter. You have touched many important topics. You have also explained the topologies of zero voltage switching, zero current switching, and you have also shown the hardware setup and everything. You have explained in a more detailed manner. So I thanks a lot, sir, for your valuable time and the guidance which you have given us today. So now I request all the participants to please just turn on their video for a group photo. So we'll have a group photo with our resource person. Sir, can you please stop sharing your slide?
Okay, I will stop. I will stop.
We can have, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here, not sharing is not visible. Just I will close this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can close it, and so it is there. It is there on this, sir. If you just click on that, that arrow symbol, so there actually it will be seen.
Where it is arrow?
So just beside that raise hand feature.
Raise hand is not coming here. That is the problem.
Okay. So I'll take a pic now only. Okay, no problem, no issues. Okay, so I have taken the pic. So thanks a lot, sir.
Okay.
So okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you can turn off your video now.
Okay.
The feedback link is shared. Feedback link is shared already.
Now it is possible. Earlier, because it is share mode.
Yes, sir. Previously, it was in share. Yeah, it was in share mode.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I can click. Okay. Once again, I click. Okay. I have taken. Thanks a lot, sir.
Okay. Can I leave?
Yes, sir. You can leave, sir.